Hi, welcome to Midwest Magic Cleaning. My name is Biff Clownspanker, and today we're going to be going over how to clean whenever you're expecting guests. How to frantically clean as if your house has always been clean. Like that's what they'll think when they show up, is this house is always so clean. I bet it's never dirty in there. And then you pretend like it never is, but you still say, "Hey, sorry about the house. It usually looks much, much better than this," like the lying liar that you are. Now, I know there's no hoarder house today, but there will be next week. It's what I call like an accidental hoarder. This guy inherited a house, and his mother was a big collector of like all kinds of stuff. It's the cleanest hoarder house you'll ever see. And the guy, his parents have passed, and the guy is just tired of living in that condition. And so we're going to be doing a lot of decluttering next week. But that's next week. Let's talk about this week. So as long as you remember your 3 Ds, you'll be fine. And that is decluttering, dusting, and dosimetry, and also vacuuming. So if you remember those 3 Ds, you should be fine. So I'm going to start out by decluttering my little peninsula looking thing, and then I'm just going to wipe down the countertops to get rid of any dust and grime and stuff like that. Now, getting rid of the clutter is obvious as to why that makes things look better, but the wipe down is kind of important because even though you may not see grime, just the act of wiping it down will make it shine, which will in turn make it look cleaner than it actually is. Then whenever we put everything back, we'll put it back in a symmetrical order. So we'll have like, say, a centerpiece and then little decorations around it, but it should all look symmetrical. And we'll go more into that here in just a little bit. But to clear up more counter space, we're going to take care of the obvious dishes at 100 million miles per hour because watching people do dishes is boring. And sometimes it makes the time pass a little bit faster if you tell each individual dish to suck it while you're cleaning it. And even if it doesn't make time feel like it goes by any quicker, at least it'll make you feel like you have power over the dishes. Now, I've had quite a few people ask me where my video was from last week, and everything's fine. I was just sick. I actually posted about it in the community section, but I know that doesn't show up for a lot of people. But I was sick. I just had a basic man cold, so I just laid around all week and whined and complained while playing Octopath Traveler 2. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm like 90% better. So this coming week, if everything goes well, not only will I have a video for this Saturday, but this may be the first week in which we do 2 videos per week. We'll just have to see how it goes, but that's my goal, is to jump to 2 videos per week very, very soon. Anyway, aside from that, we're going to wipe down the computer desk. And all I did here was just spray the rag with Mr. Clean to wipe it down. And it doesn't matter what chemical I'm using. I just happen to like Mr. Clean. But you can use whatever chemical you want. And in fact, you could even use just plain water, just a wet rag. Because all I'm doing here is getting the dust off of the desk. Oh, hey, look, more dishes. When I'm doing dishes, I usually do them until the dish drainer is full. And then I walk away and I do other stuff for, like, let's say 15 minutes, maybe 20. That's enough to let the dishes drip dry and to allow the next load to soak and soften up any extra food crud. It just makes it easier. I don't have to dry down a bunch of dishes, and the soaking allows me to wash the dishes without having to scrub. My dog just heard me making the noises, and she came over to see if everything is fine. It's fine, Dakota. Don't you concern yourself with my noises. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it none. No how. All right, then when we're done with dishes, we're going to jump over to the stovetop, and I use a two-part cleaning method. I use Mr. Clean to get off any of the grease and crud, and then I go back over it with my homemade APC, which stands for all-purpose cleaner. That's 70% alcohol, 30% water, and about 4 or 5 drops of Dawn dish soap. Then I wash it down, and then I dry it with an ultra-fine microfiber rag, and that's what gives it the shine and gets rid of all the streaks. And you can use that on everything from stovetops to windows to mirrors, anything that's got a glass type shine. That stuff is really, really good for it. It's even really good for like stone countertops like granite and your mom. Hi-yo! All right, kitchen's pretty much done. We're going to jump to the floor real quick, and I'm not worrying about getting this floor perfect. As you can see, my pets are shedding, so the only thing I'm really worried about is getting the dog hair and the extra crumbs and stuff off the floor. And yeah, there is a lot of dog hair. Now, one of the more important parts of cleaning before your guests arrive is to make sure that you put your TV stand together, your entertainment center. I personally like to get a new one of these every time company visits. That way it keeps things fresh and they just never know what to expect. So as soon as they're gone, I'll probably just throw this one in the trash and then just buy another one the next time they come over to visit. Now, another thing I like to do is save up my best curse words for whenever I'm reading the instructions and they don't make sense to me. That way I can proclaim that the person who wrote the instructions was a moron, except I can do so much more aggressively and creatively and not feel like I'm repeating the normal curse words that I say during a normal everyday task. One of the reasons that we ended up getting this new entertainment center was because we had the old one for like, I don't even know how long, 5 years. And coincidentally matched our brand new couch perfectly. It was the exact same shade of gray. But years ago, I had moved it in order to do like a surprise cleaning for my wife. I also painted the room and stuff while she was on a trip to New York. I moved it by myself, and it's a couple 100 pounds, and so I couldn't obviously just pick it up and move it. Well, I mean, I could have if I wanted to flex and show everybody how much of a man I am, but I chose not to because I didn't want to embarrass anyone who might be looking in. Anyway, I scooted it and broke one of the legs off. It caught onto the carpet and just ripped that sucker right off. So for the past several years, that TV stand has had 3 legs and then 2 books that it sat on top of. But we finally got rid of it. I've been putting it off forever. And then finally we were like, as long as we're moving things around and cleaning and going through all these chores and stuff, we might as well go ahead and replace that now while we've got the energy. But it's pretty cool. You'll see it when I get it done. It's a regular entertainment center, and what makes it cool is it's got 2 glass shelves. It's actually got 4, but I only used 2 of them. And there's LED lights that attach to the ends of them, which makes the opposite end glow, and you'll see what I mean when I get it all lit up. And it's also got a fake fire, and it doubles as an actual space heater, but obviously now we don't need that because spring's here. But you can run the fire part of it, the fake fire part of it, in like one of 8 different colors, I think it is, without running the heat. So I put it on just because it's cool, and also because that's how I roll, son. It calls me Fake Fire Johnny back in Sacramento. Like, yo, man, is that Fake Fire Johnny? And they're like, you better be careful before he becomes Real Fire Johnny. I can't control what people call me. About here is where I started to let loose with the curse words, because the way they have this put together, they give you such a weird tight area to use an Allen wrench on. And there were a couple sections where you just darn near needed to be an engineer in order to make it work. And I'm sure there were simpler ways for me to do it, and I'm sure that I was overlooking like something super obvious to make it easier, but sometimes I'm an idiot, and especially after I've been cleaning for hours and putting this thing together for an hour and a half, and I hadn't eaten yet, and also I'm an idiot. You put all that together and it just makes some frustration. So yeah, a few bad words came out. All right, we're in the home stretch now, baby. Eat it. Now we just have to put on a few clamps, which were extremely infuriating because there's no room to even get a screwdriver in there and be able to twist it. So yeah, I said some more bad words. Finally get it all put together, and then we just need to flip it up and then put the fake fireplace thing in the front of it. For those who've been asking, Jason is still doing fine. For those of you who are here for the first time, don't worry who Jason is. You'll see him eventually if you stick around. And I apologize for what you'll see when you do see him, because he's a bag of filth. He's a filth is what he is. He's exactly one filth. But he's been doing fine. He takes the weekends off most of the time. I think he's going to be helping out on the new house if I don't finish it before he's able to get there, because I'll be working on it during the week while he's working on his normal job. And then if there's anything left over on a Saturday, that's when he'll come in and help me. Daniel's doing great. He's been with us for about a month and a half, and he's now working on his own houses. For those of you who don't know, I own a cleaning business. It's not anything like you see me doing in these videos. It's just a normal housekeeping business, and I have Daniel and Jason who work for me, and I'm getting ready to hire at least one more person, if not two, and that's what's going to allow me to make 2 videos per week instead of 1, because then we're taking the physical aspect of the business off my hands, which frees my time up enough to where I can go clean houses for free like I do on the YouTube channel, and then get more videos up for everyone. Here come the super cool LED shelves. Get ready. You're in for the ride of your life, baby. Big tip here, always make sure that you put your peripherals in a TV stand before you start putting together the actual shelves, because I originally was going to put a shelf on the very top pegboard on the left-hand side, and then I was like, oh wait, you better test to make sure your PS5 will fit in there, and it turns out that the shelf and the PS5 would not have. So I just put the PS5 into test, then realized that that section won't be able to get any shelving. That looks really small because I can step right over it, but keep in mind I'm 6'4", and because of the camera angle and because of my size, this stand, or the entertainment center thing, looks small. This is actually big enough to hold a 75-inch TV, which is what we have. So this thing is like 5 feet or 5.5 feet long. And our TV is enormous. So, but it's difficult to judge the size because of my size and because of where the camera is placed. I guess what I'm saying it takes up a lot of room, and it wasn't really an easy task to manhandle something that was that large, if you know what I mean. Hi-yo! There we go. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm a bit of a plant head, and I've had these plants sitting around unpotted for a long time. So it's finally time for me to get these in some pots and get these outside, especially since things are finally warming up and the plants can handle the temperature. People say I have a bit of a green butt when it comes to these, but that really has nothing to do with plants. That's because I paint my butt green every morning, just in case I need a green butt for anything. But that's beside the point. I'm going to finally get these into some pots and get these outside. And then for those of you who have seen some of my other videos, you know I've got a pretty big sized terrarium off camera to the left. I'll be showing that here in a minute, but we are going to unplant that terrarium because I need the counter space to put all of our random drinks and stuff that are currently sitting on the floor. Yeah, I hate to see this go. That is a 75-gallon aquarium that I had converted into a terrarium, and I've had this growing for about 2 years, I think now. It's long enough to where a lot of the roots and stuff are kind of bound together. They've intertwined and become one big system. So whenever you pull these out, you have to kind of wiggle the plant, and it sort of lets the roots kind of shimmy their way out of the network. But the great thing about this is since all these are already established plants, whenever I wiggle those out of their old home, I can keep a lot of that dirt that's packed around the roots already, put this in new potting soil, firm it down with some potting soil on top of that, and then there's not a lot of plant shock that happens because it's not acclimating to a new area as much as it would be as if I was, say, bare root planting. So I'm just going to saturate everything down with just a regular milk jug just to kind of compact that new dirt in, and then use my regular watering can to like simulate rain and just saturate the crap out of all those. I'm also going to save this old potting soil because it is fertilized and there's a lot of dead plant material in there that will break down and become, you know, basically like fertilizer for the next plants I use it on. But mainly I'm getting this out of here because that's just really heavy and I need to move that into the garage. One day I may make a new terrarium, and if I do, I'll put that on video to show you my process in creating those, because it's one of the things I considered myself fairly good at, is creating terrariums and paludariums. Well, there's Jason's back. Enjoy his back. Jason's got back. All right, now that we got all those situated, now I'm just going to clean down that shelf and then start moving everything from our clogged up cubby hole onto that upper section there. All the drinks that I'm about to put on that shelf are only temporary. We have guests coming over this weekend who we haven't seen in a while. We'll go through a lot of these drinks, and then after they leave, we'll put those somewhere else, like out of sight. We just want them there just for the ease of access. And for anyone wondering, we don't actually like Gatorade all that much, but my wife harps on me to keep hydrated while I'm working, so She keeps me well fed in Gatorade. I don't know if it works any better than water or not, but I'd much rather have anything other than water. And I'm not a big pop drinker or soda drinker. I'm not getting into that debate. You call it what you want. But either way, I don't drink a lot of that, so Gatorade is like my next go-to drink, I guess. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I will see you all next weekend, and for the members, I will see you on Wednesday. If you'd like to see extra videos, I always post one extra video per week for members only. Just look for the join button on my channel. If you're on iOS, then go straight to YouTube rather than the app. I don't know why it's a problem, but it is. It's a YouTube thing. But just look for the join button. And if you don't, you can just suck it. Later.